Welcome to the Engineerable channel. So today I have something awesome to show you that I've been waiting on for what feels like forever. I mean, it's only been over a year, but that's a pretty long time for something you're not sure if it's ever going to come or not and materialize, especially when it's a Kickstarter. But this finally arrived today. So this is a massive box. It says it weighs about 75 pounds, and inside is the Luba perimeter wire-free robot lawnmowers that was on Kickstarter that seemed actually legit. Like the company had all their ducks in a row and they were actually going to produce it. And at the time, there are not many other perimeter wire-free robot lawnmowers available. So let me show you the areas that we plan to have it mow. So this is the front yard of the house, and we plan to have it mow this area. Our yard goes up past that wall, but we also share the mowing currently with our neighbor, so we plan to have it go ahead and mow their lawn too, and the lawn across their driveway. So the good thing about this mower is that it can go to multiple lawns. And so that's the area. It's a pretty good hill here. It'll be interesting to see how it performs on this hill. It's supposed to do well on hillsides. Then across the driveway, we have a sliver over here, which is also on a hillside. But if it works out well and the robot has extra capacity, I'm going to ask our neighbor down here to see if he wants it to mow his yard also, because sometimes we've shared the mowing of the yards over here too. He oftentimes mows this part up to our driveway because it's such a small sliver, and in return sometimes we mow his yard too. So it's pretty neighborly around here when we share the mowing of many of the yards. Now I know what you're thinking. You might be asking yourself, why does a young, able-bodied person like me need a robotic lawnmower? And there's many reasons I'm excited about this mower. There's a lot of other things I can spend my time on versus mowing the yard. Now we don't have a very large yard, but like I said, we share some mowing with the neighbors, and although I don't have an issue with it, my wife kind of struggles with the politics around sharing the mowing between the yards. So if a robotic lawnmower can take care of it, that'll be one less headache. All right, let's take a look at what's in the box. This appears to be some kind of traction pad. This is for the docking and charging area. Got a quick start guide. Accessory kit C. Seems to just be this crazy trident stake. I am Poseidon. There's an antenna here. It says 915 megahertz. There are two little connector doohickey key-like things. There's what looks like the bumper. Now you can see this is pretty well packed in here. They put plenty of space. This box was only punctured here, but they've got lots of padding in there, so nothing got damaged. However, if it got punctured here, it could hit this antenna piece. So this is the main RTK antenna station. Some poles for the antenna. Now we have reached the Luba mower itself, and it's like partially nested inside of its docking station. So let's release it from its prison cell. Now there's just a lot more foam down here. This looks like the other side of the antenna support. Got some accessory kit boxes, B, accessory kit A, and some foam, and the charging station. Oops, I missed this antenna extension kit in the corner here. The Luba is definitely a highly engineered piece of equipment. I mean, it's got this nice chassis, very solidly built, quite heavy. The wheels are pretty large, but they're not as large as other robotic lawnmowers, although they are a little bit wider, which could be good because it floats a little bit more versus the other ones have narrow wheels that sink through the grass, but it also means it's going to flatten the grass down more. It has these guards on the side, which I can only assume are to prevent someone from just putting their hands underneath to try to lift it up and getting cut while the mower is running. It also looks like these guards are coupled to the blades, so maybe when the blade lowers down for the different cutting heights, this guard is actually something to protect the blades from going too low against the ground. So basically the lowest it could ever get would be this distance here between the blades and this guard. So the guards probably act like skid plates in addition to hand protection in case someone puts their hand under there. It has these two independent rotors that seem to be driven by independent motors, and these quite loose razor blade like cutting blades. And so they have two holes in there, which means they can be rotated, and they can probably also be flipped. So you can probably put this blade in 4 different positions for 4 sharp edges as the edges dull before you have to replace the blades or sharpen them. The front suspension does allow motion of the front wheels such that all 4 wheels can try to stay level on the ground at a time, because a lot of robotic lawnmowers, they have 2 rear wheels and like 1 caster wheel in the front. Well, as I was flipping it over, I foolishly put my hand underneath, grabbing it, and hit one of the blades, and it made a pretty deep cut in my finger, so beware of that. It's not that bad.
Ew.
What? You never taste your own blood?
Yeah, me mow, right?
Yeah, no, it's not the mower's fault. His daddy was stupid.
You're not stupid. Yeah, you're not.
It was an accident. The front bumper fits right into here. Looks like the light side up.
But why was it?
So to find the app, at least in Android, I just searched Luba Mower. It came up with MAMMOTION, which is the company. So install this. These are the security keys. It comes with 2 of them. They need to go in the back here to be able to turn it on. So security key, next. Charging station, we've set that up. Next. RTK station, reference station. Check out what's in accessory kit A box. These are the small stakes. These are stakes for the charging dock, screws for the antenna, a plastic hex wrench for these ground screws. These are stakes for the mat. I'm gonna talk about the mat more later. It looks like an afterthought that they had because of the way that the Luba docks. It's not a mat that goes directly under the dock, it's a mat that goes further in front of the dock because the Luba likes to rotate in front of the dock before it backs in. This giant power supply charger is quite a brick here. All right, let's take a look at what's accessory kit B. These are all the stakes for the mat. Got some extra blades, screws, and washers. This is a short cable for the RTK station. This is the long power cable. They intend this power supply to be like hooked up to the house or something where it's probably protected from the weather. Here you can see that it's off the ground and protected. It does use nice waterproof connectors though, and this enclosure does look waterproof. Let's take a look at what's inside the 10-meter RTK antenna extension kit. So, as the name implies, it's a kit to extend the antenna location away from the base by 10 meters. So this extension kit, I think, was a bonus to the Kickstarter. It might be something you have to buy extra normally, but it does come with its own power supply and cable, so you can run the RTK antenna somewhere completely different from the charging base. You don't have to be coupled to the charging base. Here's everything that the Luba 5000 came with, and this is, again, is the Kickstarter edition, so it may have some extra components like the RTK antenna extension. So to start off, there's 2 pieces for the RTK pole. There's a trident stake for the ground. There's a small antenna that goes under the RTK dome. There were some extra blades. There were 2 start keys. One of them's already in the mower. There are all these stakes for this ground mat and these kind of stake cover things, which I saw the installation of this and it was terribly ugly. I'd rather not have to use that ground mat if I can put it somewhere where it's not going to tear up the ground. Here we have a short power cable for the RTK antenna that comes from the back of the base itself. Here there's a 10-meter long extension cable for the RTK antenna, and this is just power, and this is the power supply for it, so you can install it somewhere that's not near the charging base. This is a 10-meter power extension for the charging base for charging the Luba itself. This is the charger. The charger has some wall mount holes. It's meant to be hung up on the wall. Everything uses these really nice waterproof connectors. This is the RTK antenna dome. And this is the back of the pole mount. And this little sticker here, I guess that's a template for mounting it up against a wall or something if you want to screw it directly into the wall. At first I thought these screws and inserts were to screw the base down into like concrete or wood or something, but then I realized that these are actually for the RTK antenna, like if you want to wall mount it. These stakes are just for keeping power cables down on the ground out of the way.